Hey, do you want to buy any sand? Yes, that we have so much sand now. So I'm just smelting some at the moment. This is some I have smelted previously. And this is one of many batches that have been brought back and run. The problem I'm having though is because I'm leaving the sand here to smelt and going back to the desert, we are using fuel faster than we're generating the lava buckets. So I think that might be our first port of call today. Well, it wouldn't be a regular stream without some side quests. But who do we have in chat today? Waddle is here. Hi, Waddle. Yeah, so the problem we have is that the lava farm over here will only fill these cauldrons up if the blocks get like a random tick, which means that they have to be loaded. It used to mean a player had to be around, but in the latest version that's changed, so now they just have to be loaded. So what does this mean? If we have a look on the chunk borders, we could maybe load these with a ender pearl. Hey story. Welcome in. Yeah, we should be able to. I think we can load this with an ender pearl. Let's get the chunk borders up, and yeah, one runs here and one runs here, which means okay, all of this is in the same chunk. So if we put a ender pearl stasis chamber around here somewhere, similar to the one that we've got over here, that should mean these are loaded at all times, and we will continue to get the lava forming. This was down to like 3 buckets this morning, and I've had to effectively refill it from several trips back and forth to here. So okay, let's do that first, because we could definitely do with the fuel, just in case we do need more glass. We might actually have enough once this batch is done, but just in case, it would be nice to have the lava renewing anyway. So we'll need an ender pearl, some water, and we're gonna need where is our nether stuff? We need a soul sand, and let's get some daylight. Yeah, I've done a bit of work on the sand farm since last time. It's now running about it's running at about 3/5 of what the efficiency it'll have at the end. So it's not too bad. It's not too bad. But, okay, so that's let's set this up. I was going to jump down there, but I'm just remembering that I am technically naked and have no armor on. So let's not do that. Come on. Okay. Let's grab a ladder. Actually, we could just grab this. That'll do for now. And we want to do the same as this one, I think. That is 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 down. So, okay, let's put a that is probably our bottom. Let's take out these corners. Actually, no, we didn't need to do that. Let's put those back and we'll fix the one up top later. But 1, 2, 3, 4. Five and 6. Okay. Hopefully this will work. Put that back. We don't really need the chunk borders up anymore. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 buckets. Fix that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then let's turn that into a full block, and then we can put 6 from there. Grab an ender pearl, straight down, and there we go. Okay, so now this should be loaded. This should always be loaded, and we should then get lava. We should now get lava even when we're not here. Let's put pick back, buckets back. Then we'll drop off this extra cobble over here. And then let's scoop up the lava that's actually there. As that chest is where I keep the spare lava, and even that had got used up in the last week's efforts to build out our Husk Farm. Okay, so now let's grab some of that smelted glass, and we will head back to. We're going to head back down to the desert. Let's take as much as we actually can. So let's put some in the offhand. Take another stack on top of that. And so I did make it a little bit easier to get down here. I don't know if this was here. If I did this before or after the last stream, but I've got a boat that runs most of the way. And then we've got a a vine down. Yeah, running with glass in your hands is highly advised, right? We're fully health and safety compliant here. All right, no one's gonna lodge any complaints about this behavior. Okay, so let's head back down here, and where did I have the glass? In that one. Okay, we've got more than fit in that. Okay, put some in there as well. So what has happened since the last stream? For a start, we have oh, it's not actually managed to render in most of the. Very strange. The performance mods are still catching up with 1.20, 1.5. So we're getting some weird rendering now and then. But yeah, we now have 3 of these things up there. They're running along. I had to move the whole farm. So if we move over here, I was an absolute idiot, and oh, I just left my food. Yeah, we have a river biome right here. It was cutting through 3 of our modules, and therefore no husks. So I had to move the entire farm that previously ended here. This was, I think, about here or here. That was where that row of blocks was. So I had to basically tear down and shift most of it over that way, which wasn't too bad at the time, I think. Thank God we hadn't finished the whole thing by then. I also added the pack spawning skirt around the entire farm, so that should be helping us with our rates. Let's go get some food because the stomach rumbling sound is horrifying. Where did I? Yeah. Okay, food. Yeah, so I had to move the whole farm along. And while I was at it, I added a small collection area for the goods. But while I was moving the farm, we actually as we moved 50 blocks over this way, we got ourselves closer to the old pillager outpost here. Yeah, it was not very fun, but it was mindless repetitive work, which was kind of meditative and a good way to wind down from work and stuff this weekend. Just shut my brain off and move things. Yeah, we moved it over, and we got 50 blocks this way, approximately 50 blocks this way, and we got closer to this thing. And while I was there, as we moved it over, suddenly something sprung into our render distance, and at the very end of that little pathway there, I found something hovering in the void. So I bridged out there. I took myself a leash, and we found this guy. So we now have our first ally of the world. We're gonna have to get him out of here and back to the main base at some point, I think. But yeah, we now have allies. And alongside that, let me grab a nap real quick. So at some point, once we've got, we're gonna have to go find an amethyst geode to farm for amethyst at some point, so we can breed those up into, breed that guy up into a small army of LAs. But yeah, I also did some work on the collection. So we've now got this row of what's called cart yeeters. So these are pretty cool. This is a design by a guy named Inspector Talon, and I've linked his video in the description. But if we come out, so what happens is the carts come up here. They trigger this activator rail. Sorry, this detector rail, which then turns on this activator rail, triggers the dispenser. They then come down here, and then continue up, hit the fence, and then when they come back down, they have just enough momentum that they sort of slide through here, and the soul fire on top of the soul sand breaks the cart in such a way that the cart ends up here inside the soul sand block, where it can be picked up by this hopper, but all of the items end up in here and fall down. So that then ends up, the cart then ends up back out into this dispenser. The activator rail here then disables from the, and loses its power from the detector rail. The observer picks that up. That then triggers the dispenser down here, which dispenses the cart up here. It goes zoop, back into the rail, and off it goes again. So this way we unload the entire cart in one foul swoop. And then I've added this waterway along the bottom, and then moves all of the goods along here. It's called an LA. It's a sort of magical fairy thing that you can give it a block, and then it will pick more of those blocks up and either bring them to you or take them to the nearest note block. But they love music. So if you play them a tune and give them some crystals, they'll basically, a bit of mitosis goes on, and they split in half, and they clone themselves in all the excitement. But yeah, so they're very good for, well, they're actually a pain in the ass, like most mobs in this game, to move around and stuff, but they can be really handy for collecting stuff, especially if you have like uneven terrain or an area that you can't run, say, hopper minecarts around or hoppers around, or can't manipulate water streams to bring the items into one place. Then these guys can do all the picking things up and dropping them off in a central place, and then you can just collect the stuff there. So they will be useful for some farms and things in the future. They also have amazing regen. So they're also handy for some XP farms where you continuously damage them with an infested potion on, and they spawn silverfish, which you can then kill for the XP. But yeah, so this has been working fairly well. There's some issues with it, but yeah, all of our items basically get scooted along here. They sort of get stuck up against this this iron trapdoor for a bit, where they group up, and then get pushed over that into this water stream where they float up and group up some more until they get to the top, and then they're pushed across some hoppers where they're sorted into their respective chests. And then up here we have these are some signal strength 2 filters. These can't be built next to each other, otherwise they interfere with each other and basically cause problems and when too many items are coming in. So we have 2 different kinds that have tiled sort of AB style along. And this means that in our hoppers up here, if I use Lightmatic for a sec, we can inspect the hoppers. Hang on, one isn't overflowing. Yeah, so we can put a stack of 18 filter items plus 3 more, and then we only need 1 of the actual item in the hopper. And then that way this can pick up to 63 items at a time and filter those into our chest. And then this last one, instead of feeding into the chest, we feed it into this this crafter, which is set up for 1 thing. That then turns. Sorry, this one is this one's set to filter bones. So that then feeds into this crafter, which turns it into each bone into 3 bone meal. That then populates this crafter, and then that has been pushing. That then pushes the bone blocks into this chest, and we've got a automatic bone block manufacturing here. But yeah, so we've got quite a bit of sand now. So we've got, well, 10 double chests of sand come out of this farm. It's been producing a bit of glowstone. I might actually get rid of the glowstone and switch this filter over to be more sand. I might leave it as is for now because the glowstone is handy and we don't have another source. But once the witch farm is up and running, I think this slice is going to go away. We've been getting a fair bit of redstone, a fair bit of arrows, and then a fair bit of gunpowder as well. So this has been generating both gunpowder and sand. So we have all the ingredients from this one farm to produce a bunch of TNT. I'm thinking once we've got this finished, we might just do that in order to deal with that monstrosity. So yeah, that's what we've done so far. And then down here, and then up top we have I made one change after the last stream to the farm itself. Well, 2 changes to the farm itself, apart from the moving everything 50 blocks over, which thankfully wasn't too bad, right? Because it's basically the same thing. So I just sort of cut it, left about 15 blocks of it in place, and then just moved the rest along and rebuilt. But yeah, I mean, I know the narrow paths make you guys nervous, but what about this? Just where is the edge? Yeah, where is the edge? But yeah, so I did have 2 observers here. which was creating the back and forth. I think it was going a bit too quick because I was noticing that every now and then mobs were still left on top. So I've added a third observer here which slows it down ever so slightly more. So it's now gone from 0.2 of a second to 0.3 of a second delay between the platform moving back, and that seems to have solved that. And the other thing is I made sure that this side of the side that was closed all the time, initially this was the slabs, so I sort of triggered this side manually, ripped out the soul sand from this side, and I put it down this side instead. And that's also made it so that the mobs are more likely to seem a bit more likely to fall through. Yeah, so we've just got, this is effectively a mirror of that side, and then we go over here and we've got another one. This one is basically just copied to here, and then we'll need to copy that again to here, and again we'll have to copy the one at the end there one further over to do the final module of the farm. But yeah, other than that, this farm has been working brilliantly. The amount of mobs, so even just looking at this, right, you can see the amount of mobs coming out of this side versus that side farm. This is just a constant stream of mobs, right, versus, are you actually going to spawn anything? There we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's not a great number there, right? Versus, okay, look, boom, so many mobs just falling out of this one. And I think even a smaller version of this, like we could have just done one module or maybe not quite as big, and it would have still hugely outperformed. Or it would have at least performed on par with the farm mod there. So yeah, so that's where I've gotten to off camera. We do have some problems though. So if we look along here, there is because of the way that this is structured, we do have a lip of glass along here, and sometimes things get stuck on top. So I think we need to try and find. I think we'll try and find a sort of fix for that, so we can get our stuff. Make sure we're capturing all of our goodies. And the other thing is sometimes things don't fully bunch up at this end. Let's see if we can get a batch coming along. Here we go. So yeah, we should see a bunch of items. So here, they hit here, they start to group up, but they don't always group up fully. So I might swap this out for something a bit bigger, maybe a slab or a stone cutter, which should mean that things group up a bit more. So what to do about this? So I think things will mostly be somewhat on the ice, so they should get pushed along nicely. But I think what we could do is potentially swap out the glass here with either a wall or glass panes, so that they sit more under the hoppers. And if we do look along here, we don't need to bring it in too much, right? Everything is sort of teetering on the edge there. That one's in a bit further. So yeah, if we I'm wondering if glass panes will give us a better result. So let's go grab some of that glass that we brought over, turn it into panes, and see how that goes. scarily, even with that, even with the item loss there due to things not making it into the water stream, it's still been producing a huge amount of resources here. So I think we might actually decommission our old mob farm in favour of just using this for mob. For mob drops in the future. The only thing that the farm at spawn produces that this doesn't would be the glow ink sacks, which are entirely an accidental result. Were entirely an accidental result anyway. Oh, a pickaxe would be helpful, so we can actually mine that glass out without destroying it. So yeah, we might so yeah, I think this might become our main source of mob drops for a while, and then maybe we'll build a decent mob farm over by spawn at some point in the future. One that will generate a lot more. As we could set up like a quad flushing farm over there, which would give us quite a bit of the old resources. Let's take that and then put glass pane in instead. Oh, this is going to be a pain, isn't it? Okay. We want to be careful that the water doesn't push us over the edge. Alright, and then these fiddly hitboxes and being pushed around by the water also don't mix very well. What if we go one at a time? At least these ones here will be easier. Okay, so these are definitely not going to get in the way. The problem will be is if things will still land on the ice or not, or if they're going to fall through to the bottom here. So I think I might leave this open for now, just so that we can then quickly monitor if things are escaping or if they are falling in such a way that they're still aligned with the ice path. It would have probably been wise to have done this over here, right, where it's actually it's actually happening, rather than on the bit of the farm that isn't producing any drops. Let's go here. Might have actually made more sense to get inside the water channel and scooped up the water with buckets along the way. So it's definitely coming out this side when we allow the water to, but I feel like that's the water current pushing it out this way for now. Let's hope that when we get things in the whole way along, that they group up how we want them to. Alright, so we're probably going to have to wait until night time again for us to be able to see whether or not this has worked. Let's just fill this in. I need to work out how I'm going to decorate this island as well. We are in a desert, so it would be nice to have something a bit desert themed. So I'm thinking we definitely want some sort of sand style floor up top. Let's actually put that in our offhand. And we should be able to just go, yeah, that's much better. Why don't we do this at the start? That's much more sensible. See, we could have made our life easy this whole time. Why did no one tell me to do this at the beginning? Here we go. We can get these in without even letting the oh, we have run out of panes. Okay. Let's put that back in for now. We'll go make a few more of these. Yeah, I need to work out what to do with this place in terms of decoration, because we don't just want to leave it open. We want to give it some treatment, like we did the ice farm, so it looks like an island. What do we want here? Let's go for a couple more stacks. Oh, sorry, half a stack of panes, and that should be enough to see us through to the end. I mean, one might have been enough, but it's not like we don't have enough glass, and it'll save us having to go back for. Oh, put that in the offhand again. Here's where it gets complicated. Let's ignore that for now and go finish up the other end. It also seems like it's getting a bit darker out, so hopefully we'll start getting mob spawning at some point soon. Okay. So we've now got we've gotten rid of that lip thing that things were getting caught on along here. Hopefully that will help. We said we're going to swap the end out there for a slab, didn't we? So let's grab a slab. And that should hopefully group up the items a bit better. What do we want? Some cold ones. Let's have a smooth stone slab. I wish we had glass, sort of glass slabs. I feel like there's a lot we could do aesthetically with some glass slabs. Let's take that out, and then we'll put a slab there instead. Yeah, and that mostly exists to regulate the water and keep it in place. All right. So we've still got this bit. This bit, things will potentially get caught on. We'll have to see how that goes. Let's probably take that out. Okay, so we'll wait until night time gets around. How are we doing for light? I think we might be in the middle of a storm. As I think this is the raining texture for the desert. The raining sort of atmosphere for the desert, sorry. Although there's no rain in the river biome here. The sun's still quite high. It's not got a little bit while before it sets, I think. Okay. Well, let's find something else we can do while we wait for that to set. The other thing that annoys me a little bit is that these do not sort of trigger at the same time. So we have this row of redstone dust here. What happens is if we turn these on, then that forces that activator rail to be on, and it stops the collection system. So while these levers are flipped, we don't get any collection happening, which is sort of handy, but also everything ends up, because it's so long that we need 3 levers, everything ends up out of sync. So I think we can do better than that as well. So I think we can redstone something up here with some repeaters and stuff, so that this runs a bit smarter. And I think to do that we'll need to lower this part of the floor down. And if we put it in line, we can then put some redstone bits on it. And then that can then power. We'll be able to power all of it at once. So I think we just need a parallel line of redstone and some repeaters. And the trouble with the repeaters is if we add the repeater in, if the repeater is powering both ends powered on both sides. Sorry, it can continuously power itself forever. So we get like perpetual redstone energy. So we'll need to do some shenanigans to get it to work. And if we just put a repeater in the line, then it doesn't power the activator rail below it, below the repeater. But let's have a. I'll clear this out and then I'll show what I'm talking about. Here we go. Collect all this up and then we'll reuse this for our setup. And it should be fine at this height because we're below. Nothing should get caught. Okay. Let's okay, it's now night time. Let's grab this glass and then we'll set these off again. Oh. If I chuck that down there, then the carts should be able to pick it up. And then there was some glass along here somewhere, wasn't there? Oh, we're getting fired at. Okay, let's grab this. And then we can set the carts off again and we can actually have a look and see how they're getting on. So yeah, so this is the problem I have, is that I can activate this one and then by the time I get down to this one, those are already halfway down the track. And then we have the same again for this third lot. Wait, stop firing at me. Okay, so let's have a look. So this is dropping stuff. Ah, okay, so it is falling through. Damn. We could. Can we waterlog a hopper? No. How are we going to get? I mean, actually, it shouldn't be too bad because if something breaks here, it's going to get caught in that anyway. We just need to find a way to do the water streams. So if we put a sign, I'm thinking if we run the glass along here instead, and have an extra water flow here. Oh, okay, that is now getting caught up. Yeah, it's getting caught up there as well. So that is also a problem. Alright. First up, let's just try putting in a row of glass along there and see what happens. Where is the actual end? I don't want to run off the edge of the platform. Can we get things through that gap? Okay. So, yeah, now we have things sort of stuck on the side here. Okay, let's fix this bit first. What we can do is have some water running into things this way. So if we put a water source here, then this one will just turn into solid water. But if we put one here and it falls down first, then it should be okay. We need a bucket. Do we have a bucket? We have a bucket of lava. That doesn't help. I might have one in my ender chest. No, I do not have one in the ender chest either. Okay, we can put the lava somewhere safer now. And then here we go. If we do that, we should then be able to take the lava bucket, leave that there, and then we do have an infinite water source at the other end, so we can go get a bucket of water, and then we can hopefully at least get everything flowing into the water elevator over there. Okay, although I have mostly sealed this off now. Oh, no, that's not what we wanted. Here we go, water. Oh, and we're hungry already. Okay, so now we can manipulate the items down here into the stream, at least, I think, by if we put if we put that there, seal it up, then if we take out this, And maybe this one as well. We can put, no, take that one out, and then we can put the Okay, maybe we need water physics in Minecraft are a strange beast. So if we literally just go like what if we literally go like that? If we then throw can we get something through that? No. Okay, let's see if that is enough to pull things in and stop them from grouping up that end. But then we still need to fix the water flows along here. So I think a 2-wide channel is probably the answer. So let's get some signs so we can stop the water. Some spots. Where is it? Signs. Here we go. And then I think we need to take some of these out. We go. Help. Stuck. Okay, so then if we go come on. I hate Minecraft water. Oh, crap. No, that's in the wrong place. How are we going to actually do this? I think I need to get in there. Okay, I think we're going to actually have to get into into the water. Okay, so this way we can get in here. Where did we make a mess of things? Over here. Okay, so if we go along to there and we put a sign here. Then we should be able to put a water source. Don't actually have any water on me. So we should be able to put a water source in there, and that should hopefully just push everything along. I mean, it's a pain moving the other direction, but at least this way is fast, right? So we put a water source there. Oh. That should then flow along to here where we put another one. Let's get the rest in there. We'll put another sign there. And we need another bucket of water for that one. Just wondering if that's gonna really get any problems. Let's try moving that forward one to there, and then we'll move this sign forward one. Put it there. Which then mean that the next sign goes there. And then the final one will go here. So hopefully we can manipulate the water so that we don't want it to push anything into this side, but we wouldn't mind things in that side part flowing along down to our collection area. Okay, that's 2 in. It looks like it's getting darker as well, so hopefully we'll be able to see if it works at some point soon. Let's try and get out of here. Oh, can I? No. Only did that not work. We now have a dangerous hole in the floor. Okay, let's try and get back to the other end. Our inventory is getting full of trash. What is going on here? So we have some stuff there that's in limbo. But did that come from behind? Let's take that out. Okay, so we have some bits getting stuck there, but I think that's the flow maybe. Let's fix this hole before we kill ourselves with it. We're not getting anything stuck here anymore. That's good. Ah, okay, no. Everything is getting stuck over here instead. That's not good. Alright, we'll have to look at that in a second. Firstly, we have far too much crap in our inventory. Let's clear that out. Let's do what we can to finish this water channel, and then we'll have a look at the other end. Oh. So grab some water. Okay, stuff's getting stuck there, so we're going to need some ice as well. Let's just run this one all the way along for now. Okay. We'll run this the whole length, and then we can get in there and try and fix the remainders. Okay. So let's oh. Let's put one water source there, and then we'll grab another one for grab another one for this end. Yeah. I feel like water is one of the most annoying things to deal with in Minecraft after mobs. Okay, so we want a... I threw my fences into the void, didn't I? That was the opposite of clever. Yeah, I'm really not sure what to do with the design of this place. So I want to kind of turn it into an island, similar to what we did with the ice farm. The thing is, this is very big, so a circle encompassing this square killing floor is going to be absolutely ginormous. Which then means that to get any kind of nice curvature on it, it's going to have to be quite tall. Otherwise, it's going to look a bit pancakey. So I'm not quite sure how we're going to style this up. But I do know I don't want to leave it as is though, because as is a bit ugly. So it definitely needs a little something, but I'm not quite sure what that looks like at the moment. Let's turn all this off for now so that we don't have items raining down on us while we're trying to work. Okay, so put a sign in there. And then put the water in. Grab some more. Okay, so one. Okay, so then we get a sign in here. And then we'll put the water in there. Just need to take these out. So we have a sign in there. Take these ones out and put another sign in here. One in there. Okay. Oh, one there. Last one there. Okay, now we need to fill this up. Okay, no, that was definitely needed there. Just wondering if there's a way for me to get out this end. Oh, crap. Okay, let's go get some more water and fill in the blanks. Well, have a good sleep, Story, and thank you as always for joining, even though it's so late in where you are. We're probably only going to go for another hour tops on this because I have to wrap up and get to a meeting straight after stream, so we have a hard cut off today. there will be no long streams today. Yeah, let's get some more water, and we'll try and fill in the gaps. In the water, and then hopefully this will at least get things down to the end, and then we just need to manipulate that end water channel so that things are flowing into where they need to be. Actually, I'm gonna go make a few more buckets as well, because running back and forward like this is madness. And we have some iron here, so we might as well. We'll make a stack of we'll make ourselves a stack of buckets, and then we'll go move the water with buckets to spare. So let's actually pick the lava up, so it's out. And put that back where it can't cause any trouble. And then we'll take the iron. Buckets. We'll turn that back into blocks. Some of it back in there. We'll make some of that for later. Let's look at what junk do we have. Can we clear some of this out? We don't need any of this or that or that. Okay, we'll go get the water. We'll sort these water channels out, and then yeah, almost. I mean, you can all see that I have no levels, so you can all tell that this has happened a couple of times so far. Oh, now let's. There we go. That should be more than enough buckets for what we need. So we have one there. One there. One there. Actually, do we need to fill these in? I guess it's better than. It's probably better to have them than not. It probably restricts the water flowing that way a bit more. Okay, one over here. Okay, let's try and get out of here without dying. Okay, what can we do about this water stream? we need to create a current in this direction. So maybe this is right, it's just maybe it's not at the right level. Instead have the water pull one level up, is that going to work? Okay, let's spin this up and see how it does now. And then we might need to grab some ice and swap out a few bits of the glass along the way for ice, and then that should hopefully give us a working water stream. Uh-oh. That was not very smart. Can we... Come on. Into the void. Just fall. Did we just lose our pickaxe? Okay, we didn't lose a pickaxe. That's what's important. I probably need to stop running around with no weapons and armor on. This was just stupid. I should never have left that there. Should know better than to leave spawn all spaces. Okay. So, ice. So I used blue ice for the whole length of the path here, which was not entirely necessary. Oh, hang on. There's a pane there that shouldn't be there. Okay. No, do not push me off the edge. Okay. Do we need... I think we need some slabs. We need some slabs so that we can stop the water from flowing where it's not needed. What have we got? Smooth stone slabs. A couple of those. First up, let's take the iron trapdoor out. What are we missing here? Okay, we take that pane out. Another slab there. No. That's not where we wanted it. What is going on here? Hang on. Ah, there is a there's a glass pane in the way there, so let's take that out as well. I think we need to put the water flow back. Okay, let's grab a bucket for just a bucket and an empty bucket just in case we need it. And then we'll try and tidy up the mess we've made of the water over here. Slab maybe. Let's just take all of the slabs instead of having to keep coming back for them. Alright, we will get this water flow to a sensible into a sensible place at some point. Okay, so we then go like that, and then put the water. A piece of glass there, some water there, and then block off the top there. Is that enough? Some bits have gone stuck here, but I wonder if that might be right, and everything's getting stuck up. Okay. So that needs to be closed off like that. The consolidating everything here is not going well. Okay, for now, let's put some ice in so that these all. Let's at least make sure we get everything down in to the bottom there. Yes, sometimes things are running out of momentum here, so if we put ice in here, this stuff should keep its momentum as it leaves the water streams. And then that will at least get everything down to the bottom. And we'll dump a bunch of stuff in at the end there just to make sure it works. So, okay, so we've got water streams set up there. Let's take take some goods and throw them in, and okay, so those are flown all the way down fine. They've made it all the way to the end here, where they will have probably gone stuck. Yes. Okay, so now we need to get stuff over there. Okay, what if instead of a dodge waterway there, oops. Okay, so we seal this up like it was at the beginning. Take this out. Okay, what if instead of trying to move it with water, what if we instead, where's our redstone supplies? We put a sticky piston in. So it doesn't power that enough to power a piston. What about like that? No, it's not strongly powered enough. Okay. We can work with this. So let's take some more observers. Oops. Okay. No, I want it to look at the thing, not away from it. Can we get down a bit lower? Okay. So we'll power that. Solid block. Let's go grab some smooth stone. Oh. This wiring is going to be a bit janky, but it's probably good enough for this. Okay, so we want one there. into a, and then we take this out, we'll put that glass back in. Put our sticky piston in this way. And then a solid block here. Okay. So that's all bunching up fine. And then stuff that is caught. Alright, it's a bit janky, but it works. Oh, hi Crumbs, welcome in. So we've been trying to sort our collection at the moment. We were getting items stuck. And the trouble we're having is we are using these cart eaters, which effectively means that whole carts full of items get just dropped at once into the water stream. So we did have a row of glass along here, but things were getting stuck on top, so we've swapped this out for a water stream. But now things are getting stuck here, and we were on this edge, and we were struggling to get them to manipulate them into moving over to where they needed to go. So this is like the most janky solution possible, I think, which is every time we dispense a cart now, just as that gives us a periodic signal, we're pushing a glass block in and out to align everything. And I mean, it seems it's nasty, but it's working. Yeah, probably do something a bit more frequent, but okay, that's working for now at least. It's working for now. And then we need our route back up here. So the last thing we wanted to sort was the activation of everything at once. Oh. So we want to be able to turn the whole lot of this on and off as one. I think. Yeah, so we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Then we want to probably come in 15 the other end. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Come out here. So if we bring a path across, how is it possible that we've run out of glass? Oh, we'll lose that bit. Toss all this down and it can go through the sorter. We're going to grab a bunch more glass and some repeaters. So let's take some glass. We don't need the panes anymore. Let's put those back, all the observers. Put those back as well. We don't need that. Don't need those. We don't need that. And we don't need the buckets either. So let's take some repeaters with us. I think what I want to do with this is hook it up to a daylight sensor as well, so that the farm is only active. So the farm basically turns itself off during the day, and then is on during the night. We'll need a little floorway here so that we can actually act as a storage. And then we'll take this out. Annoyingly, I built the storage in a slime chunk, so we have to be quite careful about what blocks we use here, otherwise we end up with slime spawning. But the redstone is in this one. Okay, so if we put a repeater there, take out that one, put a repeater there, turn that on. Okay, we're only a few short there. We'll do the same at this end. Put a repeater there. Power that. Okay, so we need to find the middle here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's going to be 9 from this side as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wait, did I take out the 9th, or did I say count 9 and then take out the next one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. Okay, so then we've got 2. Okay, 1 there. So we'll put in extra repeater here. That's 2 levers I've now sacrificed to the storage's disposal of unfilterable items. Okay, at least we got one. I only need the one, so let's run a redstone line along here. We'll put a lever in there. Run another line along here. Put a repeater in. Okay, so now we have one centralized on-off switch for the whole farm. Just swap this one out for a repeater as well. Okay. So this should now control the whole farm. What? And then when we all of the minecarts back. Yes. Okay, so then when we flip this, let's put that on 2 ticks as well, just so it's equal. We should see all of the carts coming at once. Okay, let's try that again. Hey, there we go. So we can release all of the carts at once. And then when they come, yeah. Okay. So next up, I think we want a daylight sensor. Let's expand this out a little bit more. So we'll take a daylight sensor and we'll see if we can hook that up. Oh. What do we need to make a daylight sensor? We need glass, quartz, and slabs. Glass, quartz. You brought plenty of that over. Slabs. So if we go like that, then we should be able to make a couple of daylight sensors. repeaters. Let's take some comparators as well. Then hopefully we can rig something that will make the farm collection only run during the night. And, well, the farm and the collection only run at night. We might have to move the repeaters here over one. Okay, and then we can have a repeater going into that, and then a daylight sensor. Okay, so let's see how that functions. And then if we head up here, we should be able to put an inverse daylight sensor up here to power the clock. And then that should in theory turn the farm off at night. Oh, sorry, turn the farm off during the day. So if we swap out this lever here for a daylight sensor and then a redstone repeater, then we turn it to night mode. In theory now, the farm should only run during the day. Sorry, the farm should only run during the night. The opposite of during the day. Got that backwards. Okay, so what is the power level? So okay, it's down to 4. 3. We don't. Okay. So that has started. Don't have any more. Oh, I'm just getting mobs spawning now. Then So it's still on a power of 1. Alright. Okay, maybe we can. Maybe we can move this over 1. Then we'll lose 1 redstone power as it moves around there, so it should kick in a bit earlier, hopefully roughly as the mobs start spawning. And then the other thing I think I'll do is I'll head up to the top and I will set that repeater we put attached to the nighttime sensor. I'll turn that up to. I'll turn the delay up on that a bit. Probably won't make much of a difference, but well, we'll go keep an eye on that and see if it stops. We'll see if the power level on that changes. How the power level on that changes with respect to when the mobs stop spawning. So if we here, okay, so that's power level 11. Try and get as far back as possible so I block as few spawns as I can. So then if we watch the farm, we're still getting spawns. And then hopefully as the night fades, we'll get less. And yeah, even with my player there blocking part of the spawns on this, if we just look at the difference in the rates of like mobs dropping on this farm versus the other, this is why this farm is so much more efficient than the other one, and why we get the better rates from this farm. Purely because what we're getting is this constant stream of mobs where the mobs fall down and die very quickly as soon as they spawn in. Whereas the other farm, basically the mobs are in the world for too long. The mobs exist for too long, and that hugely slows down the rates. Whereas this, and here everything that falls down dies, except for guys like this who those will have been feather falling boots. But even the witches who have higher health than the others, the other mobs, even they are dying as they land. And this is why the height is as it is, because if the height was any lower, the witches would survive, and then they'd start chugging potions, and that would mean that they then basically sat there until they despawned. But this all seems to be working. We've got nothing getting stuck in the channel here anymore. So we've solved that problem. That's all flowing down here. It's getting stuck here, but then as the carts come back, that's then triggering a little push from the piston, and that then puts all of this stuff in the water column. Right, it's then crawling up. I wonder if we should move this back a bit. Or maybe we should swap this out for a stone cutter, which is ever so slightly taller than a slab. I'm just thinking things aren't, like, there's a few distinct bunches of sand here. Although they have bunched up a bit more in the water column. Still potentially too much there for it to pick up with the hoppers though. We might still be losing stuff even when we haven't filled the storage up. See if we can see any glowstone dust or redstone getting burnt. Might be okay. I mean, the main thing we're worried about is losing the sand, but when we actually need it. But if I expand the number of sand slices in the storage, then hopefully it should be okay, I think. Because there'll be more hoppers to pick up more stacks. But it is grouping up a bit. It's not as much as it could do. It's probably okay, I think. Oh, and then this is... Okay, so we've got... so this is, it's light enough that this can't spawn anymore, but we've still got some power in the inverted daylight detector. So we could probably even use a comparator to subtract some of the actually, yeah, we have some redstone, so let's so we could take like 4. We could take 4 off of that, I think, maybe, and still get good enough. Let's try and keep the... Oh, there we go. Let's try and keep the width of the clock to 3. Okay, so, well... I think we've solved a bunch of the kinks in the farm. I think it's now probably in its final form. We've just got these 2 extra modules. I didn't really want to build... I think this will probably be the last stream working on this, but I didn't really want to build these on stream anyway, because I mean that was the last stream. So if you want to see one of these being built, then hey, go watch last week's video, or last week's VOD. You can enjoy that. So I think I'll build these out some more over the weekend, and well, the evenings this week and over the weekend. And I think we finally got the storage sorted. We'll see if we can come up. We'll see if there's anything more we can do to tweak the storage. But yeah, this is coming along quite nicely. And hopefully, as I said, next up we still need to work out how we're going to decorate it. So I have some thoughts on that. I do want to maybe try and, I'm hoping we can come up with a nice sort of side to the island that will give us a floor about this height of this glass, and I want to extend that out, and then I'll probably replace these this glass wall around the farm with a smooth stone wall. A smooth stone with smooth stone blocks, and build that up to about this height, and then we'll maybe put some sand on the top, and we'll run a fence around the outside just to stop us from falling in, and then we'll be able to actually sort of see into the pit, and then maybe we can cover this whole thing with sand, because if we take sand, the sand blocks, one handy thing is if we place them on top of, say, the redstone here, they stay sort of function fine there. We'll have to be a bit careful here because this is a slime chunk, which I found out the hard way when I built it up, walked away, and then suddenly there were slimes all over the storage. What are we looking for? The renderer slime chunk. Here we go. Yeah, so this one here is a slime chunk. So we'll have to be very careful about what we do in terms of flooring. We'll need to make sure that we somehow block any slime spawns. We'll have to experiment and see what we can do to actually suppress those. Maybe the dried grass will be enough to block spawning. Possibly not. Failing that, we'll have to put buttons and things down, and that will hopefully if we put we can put the buttons down in a way that doesn't look completely terrible and covers the space that a slime would need to spawn in a way that and keeps them out of the way. Maybe we can use some slabs as well, some smooth stone slabs in the mix to help with that. But yeah, I was thinking we could just have a floor along here. We've got another slime chunk here, unfortunately, so I have to do similar sort of spawn proofing over there. Then we can run around the outside here, give ourselves a little bit of a platform. Again, we've got another slime chunk. And yeah, then we'll have this. We can maybe move the portal over a bit and down onto that same level, so we come out over here, and then we can just run up here to the storage. I've been toying with the idea of putting in a melting array here, because we could then, at the moment I've got this turned off because we are full on bone blocks. Oh. Yeah, so this is all, this is full, the whole lot. So I've been I haven't wanted to put any we can't store anymore, but we're currently just throwing the bones away. So I'm thinking, yeah, so I'm thinking if we put some sort of smelting array here, so we take this, we reorientate it a bit, we feed out of here into a farm similar to this one. Here. Except we'll need less of the. This is all just for bone meal storage, so we won't need that anymore because it will be coming straight out of the farm. So we sort of have the bones, then bone meal the bamboo, create bamboo. We'll autocraft those into planks, and then we can use the planks to fuel the super smelter. So I think we'll end up with something similar-ish to the one that Potato Noir built to hook up to his general mob farm. We'll need to make a bunch of adjustments though for the shape of this is his sort of heads out perpendicular to the farm. It has some pretty tight redstone, so it's not easy. It wouldn't be easy to rotate it too well. We might use the furnace part of that, but we'll need to, the fueling part we'll have to figure out ourselves. And yeah, and then that will give us a place here that we can quickly sort of smelt up the sand into both glass or into smooth sandstone, and then any other smelting we need to do, we can bring down here and get it done quick. And then we'll have less of a dependence on the lava. So that'll be, and then we can also, we'll probably have, when we're not when we aren't fueling up the smelting array, we'll have to see about what we can do to channel the bamboo somewhere else, and that will give us a good source of wood for things like chests and other non-decorative things, and also for when we come to like decorate this out, because I think the bamboo sort of fences and things go quite well with the sand, like the yellow coloring. But yeah, I think I'm gonna call today's stream here. So hopefully, well, off stream I'll get these two. I'll get these two modules built, and then hopefully next stream we can start with taking the TNT to this farm and getting rid of it. We can dispose of it with a bang. So thanks for joining. If you want to see the rest of this farm, then give the channel a subscribe. At some point in the future, I will look to make an actual video about the farm itself, more of like an actual video, an informational one, rather than just me building it. And yeah, if you want to see that, give the channel a subscribe, like the video, the stream if you haven't already, and I will see you all. I'll see you all next week. Bye.